Hey, we have action.
I'll send the bill in.
Excellent. Thanks, Peter. Just in time too.
Good evening and welcome to television, as well coined. Welcome to tonight's ATV net. I'm the controller, Richard VK3 VRS. For those of you who don't know me, I think probably a lot do. We haven't got a great lot of people, but I'm sure the content will be fantastic tonight. To start, kick things off, we'll have Peter VK3 BFG here on RTV1. Straight following after Peter, we'll have Clint VK3 CSJ. He'll be on second. Then Clint, if you can pass it over to Ian on RTV2. So obviously Ian, leave that pause so we can switch everything across, and that would be good. And then Ian, after that, you can pass it back to me, and we'll see in between while you're on if there's any other check-ins. At the moment, I've got currently watching Mick CH, Mark PI, Fred ZAQ, Neil BCU, and John ATV are all checked in watching. Mostly on RF, and I think one's on one of the streaming devices. We currently have 15 watching Ian's YouTube, and we have 4 watching my YouTube, and no one on Discord at the moment. And I'm not sure if Rob's got his streamer running tonight. Just let me check. I don't see Rob's streamer there, so maybe not tonight. Anyway, hopefully everyone's watching on RF. Please feel free to send me an email if you like to check in. You can send it to VK3 VRS@gmail.com. I had a mental blank. One of those days. It's been quite a hectic day, and most people know I'm quite time poor. Anyway, so what we'll do, Peter, when you're ready, you can just wipe my signal out. Feel free. I'll go to the colour bars, and then you can come in and stomp over the top of me. All right, that's it for me, and enjoy Peter's very entertaining section. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're here. I was running DVBS 2 tonight. So, good evening to everyone, and Richard, it doesn't work like that at RTV. It's first in, best dressed, which means any station that's locked in, no one can sort of knock them on the on the head, unless you're an absolutely titanic signal that it might, but even then I'm not sure whether it will or not. So it's designed to lock in on a signal and keep there. So there we are. Anyway, I've been talking with Dale, VK1DH, up there in Canberra. He's the man that, one of the two men that represented us at the World Radio Conference recently. And we're chatting about 23 SEMs and what we should be doing about it. And he did suggest that 1278 was not a good frequency to be on. It happens to be right in the middle of the bandpass of Galileo. Now, we haven't had any problems to date, but I think maybe it might be a good idea to move 1278 guys up to 1287. I don't think that'll be any issue in terms of antennas or, well, everyone's got variable frequencies these days, so it won't be too much of an issue. So I think we might do that in the near future, unless anyone's got any real objections. But yeah, transmitting in the middle, right in the middle of the passband, probably not the best thing we could be doing. Not that we've had any problem to date, but we're just trying to minimise the possibility of any. If we keep going as we are and we're not creating any issues, then the ACMA are likely to just leave it as is. So that's just a thought from discussions today with Dale. He didn't actually sort of point out 1278. He simply told me that 1278.75 was the centre frequency of Galileo, and I looked up the information there on Galileo, and it's dead right. Yeah, it's right in the middle. So here we are. Anyway, over the side here, I'm in the middle of putting a mini-kits preamp together. We've pretty much used most of the ones that I had. I've only got one spare. One blew up, and it was devilishly hard to fix. So I threw it away, actually. It was on one of the old versions, which is not as good as the new ones that we're making, but they're still very very mini components, some of them, and a bit of a challenge, but I seem to be able to still do it, so it's progressing okay. Interesting also, over the week, last week, I introduced the Q-Box, which we've got here, and very nice little bit of kit. It's in a box. It's about the same size as the combos that we're using currently, and lots of space on the back panel for me putting connectors, and lots of space inside it as well, and absolutely delightful to tune. So it looked like sort of an answer to a maiden's prayer. However, I put it up there, I think last week, was it? I'm not sure, can't remember anyway. And the audio was pretty ordinary. It was less than good, really. Quite distorted. So we put the original set-top box back and brought it down here and had a play with it. And I couldn't make any sense of it. So I took it up to Dennis, VK3YLH, yesterday, actually. And Dennis had a look at it, and we established the audio out from the using the domestic tuner that's in the thing. Sounded pretty good. But just running any amateur signal through the satellite port sounded pretty ordinary. So we sort of confirmed that to be the case. Anyway, I left it with Dennis to have a bit of a play with. I've actually got 4 of these. I thought they were going to be the answer to any further problems that we might have, because they're only $35 each. Anyway, I was talking to Dennis this afternoon, and you wouldn't believe it, but the audio from the satellites, which is what it's designed to produce, is absolutely fine. Now, we're transmitting DVB-S2. They're transmitting DVB-S2, so Now, what's the difference? Don't know. It's a bit of a mystery. Anyway, I've left it that with Dennis, and of course Dennis is our video expert. Poor guy's probably shrinking what I'm saying, but if anyone can find a solution, that'll be him, that's for sure. But it may be that I've got four set-top boxes that produce very nice video, fine, which could be used in the shack as a local monitor of your own transmissions. So maybe we can recover some of the money there with respect to that. But anyway, time will tell on that one. So there we are. Anyway, look, just a quick message to Mick. I wasn't aware that you were not able to get into the system, and I think John ATV also may be having some troubles. And Mick, I'd like to know whether you've tried standard definition or whether you're still trying DVB-T. And John also. And what I think I'll do to help the problem that we've got up there, it's definitely an intermod problem, because for weak signals, as soon as the transmitter comes on, that's the end of the weak signal. It gets blocked out. So there's some mixing process happening up there, and I'm going to try a notch filter on 445.5 on the input, the 23 SEMS input. And it won't be too hard to make a notch filter. It'll be good at 400 megs that won't produce too much attenuation at 1200 megs. So I think that's the next thing I will try, and we'll see how we go. In fact, I was messing around with a Type N T piece that I've got here. It's just over here, actually. One of these things. And there we are. It's a T piece, and I can put a lump of calyx out there and just snip it back and use that as a notch filter. And of course, depending on where you might snip back, you can find the nice point where an open circuit gets transferred to a short circuit, or vice versa. And it's one of the magic things you can do with transmission lines and the relative nature of impedances that are there. So if you start with a short circuit and you go quarter wave along the line, you find that looking in there you've got an open circuit. So if you leave an open circuit and a quarter wave along the line, you've got a short circuit. And of course that's frequency dependent. So we'll get some cables and start snipping away and see what we can do in terms of a simple notch filter, and we'll see what happens anyway. Just to finish up, I've been reading a book just recently. I've joined the Knox Library, which is, anyone who lives in this area ought to go and have a look at the Knox Library. It's absolutely fantastic what they've done there. And this is the book that I'm reading at the moment. Probably can't read the title there, but it's called Weird Maths, and it's at the edge of infinity and beyond. And it's extremely interesting in terms of a whole range of things. The first paragraph that I'm reading is all about the fourth dimension, not the third dimension, but the fourth dimension, and the way in which that might be there. So who knows? Because the mathematicians are postulating that it is there. And one of the things that is amazing about technology is that pure mathematicians often postulate things that become real a little bit later. For example, there's equations that specify the nature of electromagnetic radiation, and that mathematicians postulated that a long time before anyone knew anything about radiation. Another one is the Bessel functions. That's a mathematical concept, pure, but it exactly describes the sidebands that occur in frequency modulation. So there is this link between maths and some future technologies. So watch out for further information on the fourth dimension. So having said that, I'll go over to spaceman specialist who might even get into the fourth dimension with us, and that's Clint, VK3CSJ, who obviously runs VK3ASV on Friday nights, which is the Astronomical Society of Victoria. So Clint, VK3CSJ, if you start rolling right now, I'll keep talking just for a few minutes, or not a few minutes, just for a few seconds, and we should be able to make the changeover fairly quickly. So VK3CSJ to take it. This is VK3BFG, one turn us out.
Right. I am there, aren't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, looks like I am. A bit more audio. That'll do. Good evening, everyone. And sounds like an interesting book, Pete. Yes, what can I say about that? Just make sure I'm not driving it too hard. Your audio's still overdriven, Pete. I'm not sure what microphone you're using when you come up, but it still distorts there. You can't seem to get past that. Anyway, good evening, everyone, and trust that everyone is well. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about or mention, but the main reason for popping up tonight is that I'd like, after the ATV net has finished, I'd like to run a video of a presentation that was done last Friday by the Bendigo Amateur Radio and Electronics Club. Last Friday they had a special presentation by Dave Stewart, VK3ASE, on his shortwave radio project or thing that he does, and it was great that he actually I'm not 100% certain whether he approached the club to do the presentation or whether they approached him, but because Dave, I don't think Dave is usually au fait in standing up in front of a crowd and talking about things, but at least in this case he let's just say that he was invited to talk about his shortwave transmissions that he has running on 4835 kilohertz and 2310 kilohertz, and he explains how he got into that, because Dave VK3ASC's had a history of commercial broadcasting, being involved with the ABC there for quite a while and other media outlets in his professional life. But I've known Dave for quite some time, and particularly through the crossband transmissions that he used to be involved with on 160 metres. So if some of you used to listen to those crossband transmissions on 160 in the early 70s and various times through the 80s and 90s and even now on replays, Dave is the key person behind that. Anyways, apart from all that, that's how my introduction to ham radio actually came about. Was listening to 160 AM, particularly the Coffee Break Net, that's been going for heaven knows how long. Early 60s, I suspect that was kicked off at 11 o'clock every morning. So yeah, I found them on the end of the broadcast band dial on an old Chrysler gramophone that we used to have in the lounge room. It was a bit of fun listening to those guys talking away, and before I knew it, I was getting my license just to be able to do the same thing. But anyway, having said all that, Dave is following a dream of his to be able to run a bit like a shortwave domestic service sort of thing. The license grants him to be able to do a few things, and he talks about that to some degree. So I'm quite happy to after the session tonight, if the repeater holds in there, to run this presentation from the moment that Dave starts talking. And anyway, if you know Dave, you understand where he's coming from. So courtesy of the Bendigo, what is it? Bendigo and Amateur Radio and Electronics Club. And Dave's quite happy for me to run the presentation over the repeater. He's got no problems with that, so it's cool. Anyways, I think that's about it. Going across to Ian, aren't I? So Ian, you can probably start transmitting on RTV2 if you haven't already. And we'll just wait there until everybody's finished tonight, and as soon as we're all concluded, I'll come up and run this. It goes for about an hour, so yeah, it's an interesting little thing. Fortunately, the audio pickup is good. The microphone that Dave is wearing is good. There's a couple of cameras being used, but anyway, it's interesting to listen to. So across to you there, Ian, on RTV2. Everybody can select RTV2, and I'll disappear for the time being. Across to you, Ian. VK3 Quebec Lima. This is VK3 CSJ on RTV.
Great. Thanks, Clint, for the handover. That's very good. And I actually was fortunate enough to be able to catch that Bendigo presentation that Dave, VK3 ASE, presented. A very interesting talk. So that was, yeah, no, really appreciated that. So that's great that people will be able to get an opportunity to see that after the net. And thanks, Richard, for running the net. That's it's great that you've been able to help out there, and also Pete for the updates on his little building efforts and diagnostic efforts on tuners, receivers. You'll know a lot about combo receivers at the end of this, I'm sure, Peter. And good evening to Tony, VK7AX on the YouTube channel, David, VK2DJV, and VK3QSL. I've forgotten who that is. Anyway, thanks for signing in. And Tony, VK3AAZ. And Stephen, VK2RH. So all over the Australia we've got good coverage there on people who've put their notes in the chat, and also Greg. Yeah, Greg. Thanks, Greg, for filling in the gap there on names. I'll make a note of that actually while I'm Greg. Good. All right. So there's a total of 20 viewers on VK3. What is it? QL. So I'll just put that up. Yep, so that's the live YouTube stream. The BATC stream that's not functioning tonight, from what I could see, but the Discord is. So that's all good. And I might just roll on to the QSO party. That's the 12th QSO party is on again this year, Saturday, the last week. It's the last weekend of August. Usually, in the past it's been on the Friday and Saturday, but Peter has done a ring around, and Saturday is the 2 time slots are being targeted for the Saturday, and that hopefully we'll be able to get some UK people in on the evening as on the Saturday 7 till 9 slot, and 10 till 3 we get a good turn up from America and also VK station. So it'll just be on the one day, Saturday the 31st of August, so put it in your diary and get prepared for what you'd like to present. So that's the date. Also, the people who are watching from G-Land, VK, from the UK, if people could perhaps contact Peter and let him know that you're interested in participating, so that'd be good. And also Europe, hopefully Claudio and others will be able to come in on that time slot. Hopefully it's a bit more convenient. All right, now I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Let's see where we go now. Right, that's where we're going. So, just letting people know that the QO100 BATC net is on Wednesday, 5 a.m. Melbourne time. So, if you'd like to get up early and watch that, that's one way of seeing the BATC net on the QO100. Very interesting net, often goes for just over an hour. And but you can also, if with a bit of time shifting, catch it on my YouTube channel. The last 2 weeks are usually there, and that's just a recent addition, in addition to the recordings of the net, which are also on for a couple of weeks too. So that's something else to keep in mind for in finding out what's happening around the trop. The BATC net is particularly useful for finding out the latest narrowband digital projects that the BATC is sponsoring and members are involved with. And a very interesting net, learn a lot from that. All right, so that's available for a couple of weeks after transmission on the Wednesday. It takes about 24 hours before it goes up on the my YouTube channel. Right, so back to me with my chooks. Now, my chooks are back for a short visit, and so we're a bit low tech today. No spaceships or OB vans this week. Chooks and the 9 screen, which actually I think features some shots, footage, perhaps not this set, from the QSO parties in the past. But anyway, all right, now what are we going to do? Now the next segment is the MaxiCon. I'll play this clip. It's a very short clip. Gareth introduces the MaxiCon.
This little beauty arrived yesterday. Hold on a second. There we are. Okay, no, it's not an IC, whatever it is. It's one of those Spanish microwave top ends that plug into the 3 Yaesus. So 817, 857 or 897. And basically remotes everything. So it's touch screen, I thought I'd treat myself to that, since I will not cough up the money for an ICOM, especially as I can use the ports down and, of course, the Langstone screen.
Right, when I saw that clip, I thought, that sounds a very interesting device. Now, it's interesting from a number of levels. It tidies up a lot of functions that you might be operating on when you go portable with microwave transverters, and trying to keep track of everything when you're portable is it's hard enough to do it in the shack with transverters to find out what frequency you're on and all the other stuff. So I did a bit of research, and this is the results of my research, but there's a bit of a postscript to it too, so I'll give you that after I cover what I found out about this Maxicon.
As briefly mentioned in a recent edition of DUBUS, a new microwave transverter gadget has become available. The Maxicom 5CV8XX is an innovative external control head and pan adapter designed to enhance the capabilities of Yaesu Radio's models 817, 818, 857, and 897 when used with transverters in the 1.2 GHz to 10 GHz bands for SSB and CW modes. Developed by Luis, EA5DOM, and Julio, EB4CUV, from Spain, this add-on CAT display features a 3.5-inch TFT touchscreen, speaker with independent volume control, input for the Yaesu MH31 handheld microphone, dial control, and function selector. It also integrates a GPS for portable use. This device is powered by the ACC cable from the Yaesu radio and utilizes a data cable for direct audio output and a mic cable for microphone and CW signals. Notably, it is not a radio or a microwave transverter itself, nor does it replace the original FT857 head. While it offers real frequency display when using transverters, it does not support all functions of the original head and is limited to frequencies above 100 MHz. Designed for SSB and CW operation, the Maxicom 5CV8XX includes a pan adapter display, optimized for very weak signals, and is ideal for rover and portable microwave activity. Its features include a 2.5 kHz waterfall display, GPS to show the current QTH locator, memory for beacon or station bearings, sun position calibration for antennas, beacon generator, Roger beep, and provision for a microphone jack and speaker. In summary, the control head and pan adapter display is not a radio or microwave transverter. You need to supply these components separately. It's suitable for microwave portable operation as the transverters and microwave components can be located away from the operating position. 2.5 kHz waterfall display for weak signals is provided, ideal for single sideband and CW. GPS facility shows the current QTH locator. Beacons and stations can be stored in memory in the control head. A beacon generator and Roger beep is built in. It's an easy-to-build kit. No surface mount device construction techniques involved. A recent lookup showed it for sale at approximately €300 plus shipping.
Right, I just paused there. This is not a DATV device or an analog television device. It's primarily targeting the SSB and CW microwave activities, and it requires, as sort of been emphasised along the way, an FT817, 818, 857, 857, 897 type transceiver, transceiver to act as a transverter. So now The next slide, if memory serves me correct, because I've actually had this in the can for about 6-8 weeks, because there's no information from basically April on this device, on its availability, or it's not in stock, on sale anymore. So the next bit of information that I show you was available still as of a few days ago. So I'll put the links on my YouTube channel in the description below. But just be aware that there's been no mention of this device on any of the regular forums that I check for this sort of follow-up information on what people have found with this device. So it's an interesting device, and I think the concept will, if this project perhaps doesn't continue to be available, I'm sure there'll be other projects of similar nature to be available. And considering it's a microwave domain, it's a more approachable price point than perhaps some of the other offerings that are available. So anyway, let's proceed with the clip.
Shipping to Australia needs to be clarified with the supplier. For further information, QR codes are provided here. A possible supplier link QR code is listed. Other suppliers and/or similar units may be available. The Dropbox links for the user manual and the assembly manual are supplied. Carefully read the Dropbox link webpage, as you don't require to log into Dropbox or sign up. There is a link at the bottom of the page to take you directly to the PDF documents. Remember, you can always search in your favorite search engine for Maxicom 5CV8XX for current information on this project. These links can also be found on ENVK3QL YouTube channel in the description of the recording of this net.
So there we have it. So I think that's a very interesting device and concept, and I think people should keep an eye open for what develops out of that space. And Richard on the back channel mentioned that he's been looking at that device himself, so hopefully he'll be able to add or comment on that. But it's, I think, a very exciting device for the microwave transverter space. All right, so now what have I got? Let's see. Oh yes, I do want to cover this. This is the Bendigo Amateur Radio and Electronics Club inaugural Radio Fest, which is on August the 18th, which is not far off, about 3 weeks or so. And this is their first one, so it's bound to be a success, I'm sure. And yeah, so do try and make it. It's a nice train trip actually, just over 2 hours up and back in the one day. So or we can always go for a drive, or even spend the weekend, including the Radio Fest. So that's the Bendigo and Amateur Radio Electronics Club, Sunday the 18th of August. Good. All right, let's go for a quiz. great. All right, I might just finish on the roll call, which is about 40 seconds, plus the end of transmission about 5 seconds. So, Richard, if you'd like to come up on channel one, if you're looking at on RF, you'll need to switch to channel 1. The hard work will be done by the Discord and YouTube operators, no doubt. So let's roll with a good night from Lucy, who's hard at work there, and thanks Richard for running it. So going back to Richard, if we allow a bit of time at the end of transmission K.
We need audio. It's always a good thing to have audio. Yeah, well, it's been quite a action-packed. Looking forward to the hour after. If anyone wants to hang around after the net, there'll be Clint who will do that broadcast. So, yeah, feel free to have a look at that. That'll be quite interesting for many people, I will assume. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it fairly brief. Just a couple of things. So I've got a quick video which I'll just show. Just let me see if I can fire it up, and we'll just quickly watch that video. Just out of interest. Another one of my hobbies. I seem to have a few of them, but this one I haven't done for a long time. But I do assist, obviously, with my hobby show. It assists this particular hobby as well. So I'll just put it on and we'll see how we go.
For live news on the planets, cosmology, sunspots and more, every Friday at 10 p.m. Clint VK3 CSJ presents the Astronomical Society of Victoria broadcast on this amateur television repeater, VK3 RTV Channel 1.
There we go. So, yeah, those watching on YouTube, Ian's YouTube, he would have muted that just in case of copyright. So, but I don't believe it's copyrighted, but that's okay. I personally know the guy who put that together. Yeah, now, the Maxicom. Yes, while I've been researching into 10 gig antennas and equipment, I just happened to stumble across that some 2.5-3 weeks ago, and went, wow. At first I thought, well, this is just use an IF radio and it's all there. Then got further and further into it and realised you needed all the transverters, and it only worked for the Yaesu, and I thought it was only the 817, 818. Didn't realise it was the 95 as well at first. So I sort of went, because I was hoping it would work with the 705, but no. And so I showed Mark JMA, and he went and did a bit more exploring, and actually found and spoke to the actual guy who actually produces it, and got a price. And yeah, he can ship them to Australia. But yes, you do need the Yaesu radio, and you do need the transverters that you want to talk on, and then you connect it all together. Ian's compiled fantastic lot of instructions on what needs to happen and all that. But from everything that I saw, and I've also watched a couple of different videos in Spanish. So, yeah, hence why when last week I found that record was all in that search that I'd discovered, and I sort of edited that one up as well. So, yeah, it would, if you're going down that path and you already had the radio and you already had a couple of transverters, that would be, I think, a fairly good investment. That way it bundles everything together nicely, and if you're going microwave and you've got that sort of stuff already, that little addition would be fantastic. It takes a little bit of the workload out of it as well, but having a 905, not really necessary. So yeah, I didn't pursue it any further. However, I have had a few little things arrive. I'm just going to flick over to Shaky Cam. Just let me put Shaky Cam on. Audio didn't work, but there we go. Shaky Cam. So people may or may not know. I've already sorted the audio. Know what this is? Yeah, that's something that just arrived. Looking forward to setting that up. So very, very nice setup here. If anyone's interested, this is my operating desk. So you can see I've got a stream deck there with very few things on. I don't use as many functions on that anymore. I have this thing now, and just an example, there's a picture-in-picture. I can move that around just with these controls, so that'll make people a bit weary. Ooh. So that's what that does. This one makes me go up and down like that. So yeah, and also the beauty of this, that's the model, by the way, if anyone wants to know. This one controls the volume. These two, you can see that these light up, these buttons, and when I play it off and tells me that the audio's off. So and there's also the switching, and I've set it up so each one of these corresponds to what's on there. So you can see there's eight inputs across there, and it happens to be 8 across here. And I've also got these active, which is what's active in that TV at the back of me, which, as most people know, doesn't exist. There's my green screen, and if anyone is wondering, that's how I roll it up and down. So, and that's what the real picture looks like. So there you go, and that's me twice. So anyway, that's my little suite here. There's my yeah, look, I've even got mints. So, but anyway, back to reality, and it's just slide it here and press that button and I disappear. So anyway, it's been a great night, plenty of information, and obviously there's going to be a continuation on after this net. Hopefully Ian will be doing the net next week, or it might even be Neil. I'm not sure if Neil's back. But yeah, thanks for everyone who's been watching and who's watching on other means other than RF. Great. I know there's quite a few new people that have started to get their RF signals receiving. So yeah, keep that going in, and if you guys do need any assistance with trying to get transmission up, there's plenty of people to reach out. You can reach out to me and if you want to be able to get to Discord as well, just send me an email, vk3vrs@gmail.com, and I can help you out with any of those sort of stuff that you want. Just check my emails because there is a couple, and no, all good. Okay, well that's it for tonight, and hope you've enjoyed. I know I've enjoyed. I always enjoy every week. So that's it. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.
Okay.
No worries, John. Hopefully you can get in next week.
Thanks, Richard. Did a great job at the net tonight. Excellent stuff indeed. And I like that mixing, the Akai mixing deck. That looked really interesting indeed. I might have to investigate that. Everything I do here is via vMix, and I find it still a little daunting, some of the basic things. Anyway, all right, I'll scoot into this presentation without any hesitation. I hope you enjoy the presentation by Dave Stewart, VK3ASE, and I'll probably run this presentation again maybe next weekend at some time as well, during the day, something like that. Anyway, courtesy of the Bendigo Amateur Radio Electronics Club, and like I said, with permission of Dave, VK3ASE, and